All right, everybody. I'm finally getting to the video a little later. So the first thing that we're going to do is check out the standings. In the East, obviously, the Chicago Bulls are the 1 seed. Detroit is the 2 seed with Kyrie and Jimmy. I know Chicago made a couple of big trades. They have Steph Curry now on their team. The Bullets, I think, stayed consistent in the 3 seed. And the 4 seed are the Knicks, who I think the Knicks and Bullets might have switched places. I think the Knicks dropped a spot. The Bucks are in the 5th seed with LaMelo. The Heat dropped all the way from the 1 seed to the 6th seed, so that's a bit unfortunate for them, but they're still in the playoff picture with Drew and Devin Booker. The Magic rose to the 7 seed, and then the Sixers with Lonzo and Embiid, I think, performed better in this sim and got all the way up to the 8th seed. And here's the rest of the standings in the Eastern Conference. Over in the West, the top team is the Atlanta Hawks, formerly Atlanta Hawks, now Albuquerque with Victor Wembanyama. Number 2 is the Suns, who had a good sim with Luka. Number 3, the Spurs, I think also rose a little bit. The Warriors are in 4th place with Jason Tatum. The Jazz fell from the 1 seed to the 5 seed with Mobley. And the Thunder rose a little bit with De'Aaron Fox and OG all the way up to the 6th seed. The Wolves fell to the 7 seed, and the Kings stayed in the 8th seed, I believe. Then in the 9 seed, we have Portland, then the Clippers, the Lakers, who I think are underperforming a lot this sim for who they have with Davis and Durant as well as Van Vliet. I think they're getting pretty unlucky. And then in the last place, we have the 2 worst teams in the league still, I believe. Yes, the Nuggets and the Mavericks. If we take a look at the NBA as a whole here, we'll show a couple of things really quick. So obviously the best win percentage is the Bulls. The worst would be the Denver Nuggets. At home, the best home team is Chicago. The best road team is Chicago. The best team against their conference is the Hawks. In their division, it's the Hawks. Points per game, we're looking at the Bucks at number 1. And then the best defense is going to be the Hawks. But all these good defensive teams are ranked pretty high in their conference. Point differential is the Hawks. The Warriors are currently on the biggest win streak. We'll check out some league leaders just really quickly. That's G League. So SGA still leading the league in scoring here. We'll check out the top 20 really quick. Embiid and Maxey to round it out. For rebounding, Wemby is still leading the league by a long shot. I think he's almost up to 15 a game now, which is insane. Here are your top rebounders. For assists, it's still Halliburton leading the way with Garland in 2nd. Steals, it's Jimmy Butler. Blocks, it's Miles Turner. Turnovers, it's now Herb Jones. Field goal percentage, Robert Williams. And 3-point percentage is Trae Young. Grant Williams is number 2. And yeah, these are the top 3-point shooters in the league, all shooting extremely well from deep. Next thing we will do is go to rosters, not that roster. We'll go to averages and show everyone's averages. I'll sort by points and go over here to 3-point percentage. And we can take a look. Obviously, Philly made that big Embiid trade. For the Bucks here, we have LaMelo leading the way. I accidentally switched it to home games for a second or something, so I switched it back. The Bulls. Cavs here with Jokic, averaging nearly a triple-double if he could just get that 1 extra assist. The Celtics here with Zion Williamson. Duren leading the way for the Clippers with Chet. Playing pretty well. Morant for the Grizzlies, who's averaging 6.4 rebounds. Those are some pretty good averages from Morant. Also shooting it very well from deep. Morant playing like insanely good in this sim. Here's the Hawks with Wemby and Jaylen Brown. Devin Booker in the Heat here. Devin Booker shooting it very well from three still. SGA, who's the league's leading scorer, also averaging a good amount of rebounds and assists, especially for a point guard. Here's Brunson and Mobley on the Jazz. I know the Jazz fell a little bit. They were the 1 seed at the end of the first sim. Here's the Sacramento Kings, led by Anthony Edwards. The Knicks, led by Cade and Barrett. Davis and Durant on the Lakers, who I really don't know why they're underperforming that much. The Magic here. And then the Mavericks with Sabonis, who's probably still up for trade on the trading block. The Nets. The Nuggets, who are the other worst team in the league, with the Mavericks, led by Markkanen. And then we have the Pacers here with Giannis and Levine. Pretty sure both those guys made All-Star. Bradley Beal and the Pelicans here. Some good three-point shooting. The Detroit Pistons, who are the 2 seed in the East, led by Jimmy and Kyrie. Jimmy playing really well in this sim still. I know he's 95 or 96 overall on this custom roster that we did. So he's definitely playing well, and he's probably going to play pretty well in 2K24 as well. Here's your reigning champions, San Antonio Spurs. And then the Suns, who I think moved all the way up to the 2 seed in the West, which is pretty darn impressive considering how competitive the Western Conference is. If you're a top 2 seed in the West, that's more impressive than being the top seed in the East, in my opinion. Here's the Wolves, who are still a playoff team, but they did slip a little bit. The Blazers, who are in the play-in, I believe. Ingram and the Warriors. I know they made that trade to acquire Brandon Ingram. And then finally the Bullets here with Halliburton, who's somehow snubbed from All-Star yet again. Really quickly, I will show free agents. I'm not going to show contract extensions again because I showed those in the last video. I'll just show once again the top few free agents in case anybody wants to offer. I think we'll only go down to about 75, and then I'll show some of the younger guys as well. Some of these guys, what I'll do is scroll over so you can see their potential. And then, yeah, Amari Bailey. Some of these guys were late 2nd round picks that were either not signed or were dropped. So there definitely could be some value here in signing some of these guys for cheap. Looks good right there. Next thing that I will show is, I guess I'll show cap tables again very briefly. Here we have the Sixers, $55 million over the cap. The Bucks, we're playing pretty well this season. I think the Bucks still have the #1 offense, if I remember right from a minute ago. But their offense is pretty insane. Jokic and the Cavs. I know Jokic just dropped on the trading block a few minutes ago, so that's pretty exciting. Harden and the Celtics here, $21 million over the cap. Trying to see who still has the cap money to sign DeRozan. I think Utah should definitely sign DeRozan if they have the cap money, because that could really help out their team in their playoff push. I know they were the 1 seed, but they fell, so they could definitely use someone like him. Brown, Maxey, Bay, and Wemby for the Hawks. The Heat have $1 million in cap space. Hornets are over the cap with SGA. Yeah, here's the Jazz. The Jazz could definitely probably make a push for DeRozan if they traded away maybe one of their other guys who was on a big contract. We'll see what they decide to do, though, for the playoffs. The Lakers, who are getting absolutely screwed, in my opinion, like I've said. Maybe they need some more role players or something. I'm not entirely sure. The Magic with Jamal Murray, Markelle Fultz, they made a couple trades. And then Sabonis and the Mavs. Nurkic looks like he signed an extension as well. For pretty cheap, actually. So good for them. There's a weird contract going on there with Brogdon. I'm not exactly sure what that is with the Nets. Maybe we'll look into that. Nuggets have a ton of cap room. There's also the potential for the Nuggets or someone, I think, because we're at the trade deadline now, to do a sign and trade for DeRozan, where they traded him to someone else. It's an interesting idea. $69 million for the Pelicans, that's nice. $59 million for Detroit. The Raptors with a ton of cap space also. Houston, $20 million over the cap. Jalen Green got that big random event boost. The Spurs are the biggest spending team in the league. $83 million over the cap. The Suns are a solid 52 over, but they have their entire core locked up for years to come. If they just wanted to take like 3 solid chances at a title here and not really make that many moves, they definitely could. $65 million for the Wolves, $55 million here for the Blazers. The Warriors are 13. Looks like Ingram is expiring though. And then finally the Bullets. The next thing that I will do is show everybody's draft picks. Remember, you're not allowed to trade 27s or 28s because we don't know how far we'll be going. So we're just keeping it safe at this point. The Clippers have a lot of picks though. Good for them. There's the Grizzlies, the Hawks. Heat have the Bullets first this year. Hornets also have a good amount of picks. It's always impressive when people get picks in this shorter sim. Nets have all their own picks. Nuggets have a couple extra picks. So do the Pacers. Pistons, Raptors, and Rockets have kept all their own picks, as have the Suns. I don't know if there's anything else for me to show. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to show anything else in this sim. If you want to know what your MLE is, you can DM me and I will send you a screenshot, but I'm not going to show all of them right now. If I missed anything or if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you guys for watching. Good luck, and the next video should be tomorrow. Goodbye.